Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Shaq News at E3 2018. I am your host, Charles, the news editor with Shaq News, and with me I have Adam from Obsidian. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Let everybody know who you are. What's your role?
My name is Adam Brennecke, and I'm the executive producer and lead programmer at Obsidian Entertainment on Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, which shipped about a month ago.
Yeah, that's a game that some people may know.
Yeah, I hope so.
You're a person that some people may know. You're a pretty popular person.
The game's been received really, really well.
Yeah.
Everyone's been liking it, and just here to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going to dive into Pillars of Eternity for sure. If people go to shacknews.com, I actually did the review for that. I don't know if you knew that I did the review for it. It was a terrible score.
Oh, it was terrible?
No, I gave it a 9 out of 10, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's going to be in our Game of the Year conversation toward the end of the year.
I'm glad you liked it.
I've got to put together, a PowerPoint presentation to make my case for why it may win, depending on how we get there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you want to help with that.
Totally.
Got it. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. But let's talk about your E3. You really didn't get to be here for the weekend. You came in specifically for this.
I came here for this, for Shaq News.
That is awesome. You legitimately did it for Shaq News.
Yep, I did
it for Shaq News. And you're wearing the shirt.
I am wearing the shirt. I've been a Shacker for 20-some years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's longer than me.
Yeah.
The table should be flipped right now.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool deal to be here, and seeing Shaq News grow so much over the last few years, especially. It's just been cool to this booth is amazing. It's so cool.
Gotcha. No, we greatly appreciate it. But I got ahead of myself. I'm too excited to speak to you. We're actually going to throw it to a trailer of Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. So check that out, and we'll be right back.
Rated M for mature.
And that was Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Like I said, we do have a review up on shacknews.com if you want to go check that out. We actually have a lot of guides and walkthroughs, which there's some parts you might need some help with for sure. But Adam, back to you. Thank you for joining. Thanks for doing it for Shaq News. You've got the shirt on. A lot of people have come by the booth to get one of those shirts by voting. Do you want to reveal to the world who you voted for in our Shaq Pack campaign?
I voted for the dog.
You voted for Lola.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Because Asa probably would have shut this stream down if you would have chosen anything other than that at this point. But you were saying you've been a Shacker for 22 years?
Yeah, even before it was Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
I'm
showing my age, but yeah, it's a long time ago. I've been a Shacker since I was 12 or something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, since you've been around that long, I would imagine you've got some Quake in you. You've played a little bit of Quake.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun because the Quake tournament's going on, or the finals are going on right now.
Yes, that is correct.
It's pretty funny to see that, I'm curious to see how they play because I could go kick their ass.
Yeah. I was going to be my next question. I'm so how badly do you think you would embarrass the people participating in the championship right now?
Yeah, it's I'm curious what map they're going to play, too.
Yeah,
but the game is so fast. Like it's if you haven't played Quake in a while, like it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the map does matter. A lot of those things will matter. I have a feeling it's going to be new for probably everyone in the finals. So that'll be interesting to see. You should stick around. We're actually going to play like a staff game later on. So if you want to participate in that, I think we're going to stream it too.
Yeah. So I think we showed the trailer of Deadfire.
Yes, we did.
So I think we just showed that. Yeah. So that's the trailer. It looks really cool. But yeah, the one thing that we are trying to do with Deadfire is we're continuing to update the game. Yeah. So we just released a new patch last week.
Yeah, y'all put up quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a couple more patches planned throughout the year. We also have DLC planned so like more content, more good stuff, more adventures.
Can you give us any kind of clues about the DLC, some things that may be included?
Yeah, so we have the first DLC is called The Beast of Winter, and that is set in a wintry zone. So it's sort of like the White March from Pillars of Eternity 1.
Yeah.
But it's dealing with some more god stuff. So there's a new story with a new god, and we're introducing some more beyond concepts. So like some more like higher level content.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about that pretty darn soon and revealing everything, like all the new features and stuff for the DLC.
Gotcha.
That's something that we've been working on lately. But yeah, we have a lot more patches coming out to add additional features. It's something that I think is very important to us. Is like we continue to update the game and make it better. It's already a really good game.
Right. Yeah.
But
I agree.
There's a lot of stuff that the development team wants to do to just improve the game. One thing that we've done recently is improve the difficulty of the game on higher difficulty levels.
Got it. Like balance it out a bit more, or
yeah. So so we have 4 difficulty levels. So it goes from story time, which is the easiest one, when we call that dad mode.
Yes.
So it's like if you just want to enjoy the story, you don't really want to deal with the combat because the combat can be
grueling.
Yeah, it's a little challenging. And there's a lot of details that you kind of have to get into the rule system and stuff like that. But we have our harder difficulty is called Path of the Damned.
Yes.
And that's if you're like a really hardcore, you've played like countless hours of Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, and you're like super hardcore Pillars of fan.
Yeah.
And you want to try out like really hard difficulty. The feedback on release that people said it wasn't hard enough, so that we took that into consideration, and we went back and we added more monsters per encounter. We tuned it up quite a bit, so it's a lot more difficult.
So now they're going to be begging for mercy at this point.
Yes, yeah. And so that's something that a lot of players enjoy, like really hard encounters and really digging into the rule system and figuring out how to like optimize character builds, because it's a hardcore RPG. So there's a big community around like trying to figure out how to win, and so that's something that's important to us. One other thing that we've announced is in an upcoming patch, we're adding challenge modes. So one feature that I really liked in the base game of Pillars 2 was Bareth's Blessings. And Bareth's Blessings is our New Game Plus mode, which it's kind of a new thing that we tried out. Our games are so big and long that not very many people finish it. So it didn't really make much sense to make a New Game Plus only enjoyable for people that finish the game.
Right.
So we wanted something that people could try out, like a sort of a pseudo New Game Plus.
Gotcha.
Even if they only played a few hours of the game.
Yeah, because you earn it throughout your playthrough.
Yeah, and a lot of people like re-rolling characters or trying out a different character build.
Right,
so it's Bareth's Blessings will give you like tokens when you earn achievements throughout the game, and you can spend those tokens for additional bonuses or additional gold. So one thing that we're adding to that system is we call them God challenges. So even if you find Path of the Damned too easy, like
somehow
we're adding additional challenges, so it will make the game much harder. So if you want to run through the game even with harder difficulty, we are adding new challenges in an upcoming patch.
Gotcha. That sounds pretty awesome. Where do you kind of land in the challenge level there? Just like you can dominate it. I mean, you have some insider info.
So this is a funny story. So when we were demoing Pillars of Eternity 1 for the very first time, I was on stage at Gamescom in Germany, and I could not beat our demo.
Oh my goodness!
I was getting my ass handed to me, and it was so embarrassing. It turned into a meme in our community. Yeah, so it was something that there was an encounter with beetles, and the beetles were just like destroying me, and I'm like, oh man, like this game is way too hard. Even for
I'm sure
me,
some of the community was probably excited by that.
Yeah, even for me, it was way too hard. So it was that was a maybe not so high moment in my career of losing to my own game on stage. But I actually do like challenging games, so
it's right up your alley.
Yeah, it's up my alley. Like I like the challenge.
Got it. So Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire introduced kind of like a pirate aesthetic all across the board, and that with that comes the ship, the Naval Combat.
Yeah.
How has the reception been to that so far?
It's been pretty positive. We were actually on the development team. We were sort of worried about like the reception to that because it is whenever you add like almost like side game content or like a mini game, like a lot of people will, if it's not like core to the experience, like a lot of people will get turned off by it. We try to address that stuff with like getting on board really quickly. So if you want to just like not deal with the ship-to-ship combat and you just want to ram them. Yeah, so you can ram. There's so many different options too in the ship-to-ship battles. And I think a lot of people like getting the other ships and upgrading them with additional cannons.
Yes, absolutely.
And one thing that we are releasing is additional ship upgrade and crew member options in a free DLC pretty darn soon in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and y'all dropped a recent patch that actually overhauled a lot or balanced a lot of the naval combat and changed a few things as well.
Yeah.
Right?
So they were continuing to address. It's for a game as big as Deadfire, it's so hard to. It takes so long to play through the game. So like tuning stuff, unless you get like, now we have thousands and thousands of players playing.
Right, and they're finding different things. So like you're focused on one thing.
Yeah.
And
So it's good to get all the feedback, and that's one thing that we are definitely paying attention to is like feedback on ship-to-ship combat as well as all the other game systems.
Gotcha. It's awesome to hear that y'all stand on top of all of that, and I can't wait to see all the additional content that comes. You said Beasts of Winter.
Beast of Winter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you even talked about that anywhere else yet?
We've announced it.
Okay.
You can purchase like the season pass pack, which has the names of the DLCs. So there's 3 premium DLCs planned for, and we're definitely looking at like Obsidian worked on Fallout New Vegas. So we're the developer of Fallout New Vegas, and we're looking at the size and scope of those DLCs in terms of like how we're scoping our DLCs for Deadfire.
Okay, gotcha. And I remember y'all dropped the beard DLC, beard and hair. Was one of the models after your own? Did you try to get yourself into the game?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of unique beard styles. I think there's a couple like braided beards and stuff like that. The other thing that we added too is changing your eye color. So that's one thing that we didn't ship with that we just recently added.
Is that something like a community requested thing? Or?
Yeah, it's something that actually Josh, our director, asked for before release. Like that's something that he's like, hey, like you can actually like really see the eye color of the people like in when you're equipping stuff.
Yes.
It's like it would be good to add
be able
that
to change
in.
that.
It was something that we didn't really plan for to begin with, but it was fairly easy to put in. The other thing that we added is since we added like the new hair and beard options is to change your appearance at any time. So even after character creation, you can go in there and
modify
get a haircut.
Not have to start from the beginning.
Yeah, get a haircut or grow a beard or
gotcha.
Change up the appearance.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah. So like with creating creative works like this, they always say like murder your darlings and stuff. So I'm gonna put a little pressure on you. If you had to kill all of the characters and only one survived out of the main party in this game, who would be the one that you'd use? That you'd keep?
I'd probably keep Adair.
Adair?
Yeah, he's my bro. Even though
the fan favorite at this point,
he is the fan favorite. I really liked him in the first game. He's like the first like companion you really meet in the first game, and he's also the first. He's on the beach with you when you crash land, and he's like kind of like the cool like bro guy.
Yes.
He also has a much love for animals and pets. So he has a place in my heart for Adair. Like I love Adair. Eric Fenstermaker did the writing for him. It's a really good character. He has a good character arc.
He is. It's wonderful to see kind of like how the story affects worldview, basically.
Yeah, because like for those that don't know, the storyline for Pillars is there's a god reborn, and his name's Aothis, and he takes control over a 700-foot tall statue. Aothis is he was presumed dead, so he's a god reborn. The character Adair, he was a worshiper of Aothis, so like he has a personal storyline in Deadfire.
Yeah.
So it's a cool character.
Gotcha. And like Pillars, there are a lot of like very crucial decisions that you make throughout the first game that can affect things in the second one. When you made the first game, were y'all already preparing for those major instances to be?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, it had to be difficult to go back and like have it where because we can go into the game and like modify how the story played out.
Yeah. I mean, we want to. Like we looked over like the decisions that you made in the first game and like figured out like what are the big ones, even small ones. There's a lot of like even small things that you can do in the first game that will affect the outcome in Pillars 2. Now it's not necessary. Like there's a history picker.
Yeah, right, some pre-made options.
Yeah, pre-made options right when you start the game. But yeah, that was like it was a pretty interesting way. Like we've never done that before, and I think it's pretty unique to this game where it's I think we react to, I don't know, there's probably like 100 or 150 things that will change depending on your choices, even in the first game.
Yeah, like some games have had where like you pick 3 major options and then you go from there. But when I dug deep into it, like I had to go back and like read on some of the things, like what did I even do this
Well, even Adair. So Adair's like the first character you meet in the game.
Right.
And in Pillars 1, you can sacrifice him in a blood pool.
Yeah.
So you can basically murder him. And
you just will not have him anymore.
Yeah. And then, like, he won't be there on the beach.
Gotcha. So it's probably tough, like, creating the Deadfire story, having to know that some of these people may not even be a part of it at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, choices that, you know, you might not affect your storyline, like, right now, but, like, down the road, like, hours later, you might run into something a good or bad choice that you made might affect your game, which is a pretty unique experience in my mind. You don't really get that too many games.
Yeah, no, you do not. You definitely do not. So, I mean, it warrants that 9 out of 10. Like, I'll have to fight to argue that 10 out of 10 just with the crew, because that's just how we work. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to thank you for coming by and making the trip in to see us and talk with us about the game.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I appreciate it. Anything you want to say to like the Shacker community? You've been a part of it for so long.
I'm a lurker, so like. If I pop in and say something, say hi. I'm for the fans on the chatty that have been supportive of Pillars of Eternity. I thank you all. So thanks for posting about the game. Because it definitely helps. So.
Yeah. I've done a lot of like news posts for it, so I've definitely seen people like asking questions about it, and they're excited for it. So I was excited for that. I've got friends that have never played that type of RPG before that are jumping in.
It has like a pretty high like barrier to entry, I think, but like once you get into it, it's a completely like there's no other game on the market,
right?
And it looks beautiful, like
it does. It really does.
Like it's probably like I think it's one of the most beautiful games on the market right now. Like it's some of the environments are just amazing to look at, and I think even if you just want to go through the story, you can play in story mode and enjoy the cool story. Dad mode.
Gotcha. But thanks once again. Where can people find more information about Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire?
You can buy it on Steam. You can buy it on GOG. You can search for it on Google.
Yep.
Or you can read the Shack News review.
Yes, there's plenty of Shack News coverage for it. Thank you for that shout out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a wonderful experience talking with you. This is the first time we've actually met, and it's great. I'm very glad. But we've got some more content coming for E3 at 2018 for shacknews.com. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.